Welcome back. Today, I wanted to offer some insight into judgment. It seems that we live in a moment in time where judgment is everywhere, where opinions are thrown around with very little sense of accountability or responsibility as to how those opinions and the way they are launched around A, represent us, B, continue to exist and live on even after they have left our immediate attention and frame of reference, and C, how those opinions potentially affect other people, how the energy at the essence of those opinions affect other people. I very often speak about social media and its usage, and one of the darker or shadow aspects of social media is that it seems to be a megaphone for people to use in order to amplify the vibration of their opinions, to post something that is dripping in opinion and then to leave it there, not potentially realizing that it continues to live on and it affects everybody who reads it and sees it, and that is either contributing ultimately to the vibration of peace and unity and togetherness and hope and light and faith, or it is contributing to darkness and division and whatever it is that tears us away from each other and away from light and hope and faith. And so I believe that our opinions in many cases stem from judgments that we make, albeit unconsciously on many levels and many instances. And so what I wanted to do was offer a very short exercise, a meditation in judgment. So I'd like you to make yourself comfortable, however you need to, whether you sit down or lie down. If you do lie down, make yourself just comfortable enough without making yourself so comfortable that you may fall asleep, if that makes any sense. So take the time to ease into your seated position or your lying down position. And once you're there, feel free to keep the eyes open or close them. And for starters, I want you to just sense every part of your body that is touching the surface that it is resting on. Maybe go through those areas of the body as a mental checklist. Shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back, buttocks, hamstrings, calves, heels, feet, whatever parts of the body are in contact with the surface supporting it. And then very slowly inhale just a little bit deeper through the nose to inflate the belly. And then exhale through the nose, empty the abdomen. Let's take a deeper inhale here. Inhale to inflate the abdomen right up to the top of the lungs now. And then exhale to empty the lungs and gently empty the belly as well. And then from here, just let the breath start to even itself out. And so I want you to visualize yourself as you are in this second, in whatever the position is that you're resting in. I want you to see yourself from a third-party perspective. Maybe as if you were in the corner of the room you find yourself in, just observing yourself right now. And I want you to notice what thoughts come up about yourself, how you look, whatever it is that arises within your awareness. I want you to observe that. And if there is anything there that is judgment-based, if you are analyzing or criticizing or comparing or contrasting or dissecting, whatever you observe about yourself, all I want you to do is think of the word judgment. And then from there, I want you to turn away from that image of yourself and start to walk out of the room that you are in, and ultimately walk out of the house or the building that you are in until you find yourself walking down the sidewalk. I want you to notice the people around you. Notice that person who is approaching. Notice if there's any judgment that you make on an unconscious or conscious level about that person. And if there is, just the word judgment. This is thought of the word judgment without judgment associated to the judging process. This is simply observing when judgment arises. Continue to walk down the sidewalk. And notice the cars passing you by, maybe turning your head to look at a car that passes by. If anything has registered about that car, the make, the model, its age or condition, I want you to simply think of the word judgment. Continue walking down the street. Noticing whatever you notice. Maybe overhearing conversations from passers-by. Maybe noticing clusters of people together. All kinds of things arising within your awareness. Cultures, languages, skin color, age, gender, mannerisms. And whenever any of these things land in your mind and subsequently land in the body as a sensation, I want you to think of the word judgment. And as you continue to walk, maybe turning your head, noticing your own reflection in a storefront window. And as this occurs, just stopping, seeing your reflection reflected back to you. And again, if there is any thought that could be equated with criticism or with disapproval, begging for a correction, like fixing your hair, or adjusting your clothes, or noticing something that doesn't quite sit right with you about your own reflection, I want you to simply think of the word judgment. Let's take a very deep inhale here, inflate the belly and the lungs. And then exhale, empty the lungs, empty the abdomen. And then very slowly come back to your body. Bring your attention back to the room you find yourself in. And for the rest of your day, I would ask that you go about whatever it is you will go about, and simply observing the process of how the world around you is processed through the mind, how that potentially lands in the body as contraction or tension or sensation or emotion or belief. Belief about yourself, belief about others, belief about the world around you. I want you to notice how often we judge, even when we're not even aware that it's occurring. Now, I don't want to insinuate that judgment is necessarily a bad thing. Judgment is essential. Judgment is what is associated to our instinctual ability to walk into any given environment and assess whether there is danger, whether there is risk. However, this human experience and this culture that we live in today is encouraging us to judge beyond a fight or flight response level, and to start to create opinions that can be brandished as weapons against each other, against the world we live in, against whatever it is that we are not familiar with and that makes us afraid. And so, your work today is to go out into the world and see how often you have bought into this culture, how often you find yourself judging based on something that makes you uncomfortable or afraid. Do it today and see what comes up. And thank you for spending this time here today.